Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Big news in US economic policy today. Steve Bannon has suggested something that could completely change the balance of power over America's financial system. He's floated the idea of Scott Bessent, the current Treasury Secretary, running not just the Treasury, but also the Federal Reserve. Yes, both jobs at once. Let's break down what that means, why it's controversial, and what the consequences could be. Scott Bessent is the Treasury Secretary under President Trump. Before that, he made his career in investment management. At Treasury, his job is to handle government revenue, debt issuance, and fiscal policy. Now, the suggestion is that he might also lead the Fed, the US central bank, which is in charge of interest rates, inflation, and regulating the banking system. Why this matters? If one person held both posts, it would merge two of the most powerful economic roles in America: fiscal policy, how much the government spends, borrows, and taxes; monetary policy, how much money is in circulation, and what interest rates are set. In theory, this could mean faster coordination between the two. But it would also remove an important check and balance that has existed for decades. Legal and historical barriers. Legally, this idea faces major obstacles. The Federal Reserve Act requires board members to devote themselves full-time to Fed business. On top of that, since the 1930s, the Treasury Secretary no longer sits on the Fed's board, precisely to avoid conflicts of interest. Giving one person both jobs would likely require new laws or at least major legal battles. Supporters might argue it would streamline policy, avoiding conflicts between the Fed and Treasury. It could allow for faster responses to crises. It would give the administration tighter control over the economy. Arguments against. Critics warn it would politicize the Fed, undermining its independence. Inflation could spiral if interest rate decisions were made for political rather than economic reasons. Global investors might lose confidence in the US dollar and bond markets. No one person could realistically manage both enormous jobs effectively. Market and political reactions. Bessent himself hasn't publicly embraced the idea. Economists, lawmakers, and analysts are already stupid for the US dollar and bond markets. Many say it would damage US credibility with investors. The Fed's independence has been one of the cornerstones of America's financial stability, and this proposal directly challenges that big picture. The fact that Bannon is even floating this idea tells us something important. There's a growing push inside parts of the Trump camp to bring the Fed under more direct political control. Whether or not Bessent ends up in both roles, the pressure on the Fed to cut rates and align with the administration's economic strategy is only increasing. Conclusion. So, is this idea realistic? Legally, it's a long shot. Economically, it's risky. Politically, it signals just how far some are willing to go to reshape America's financial system. The next Fed chair decision will be one of the most important calls this administration makes, and all eyes are on what happens next. That's the latest on Steve Bannon's old suggestion. What do you think? Would combining the Fed and Treasury be efficient, or would it be dangerous? Drop your thoughts in the comments, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.